He said it like a secret and a dare at the same time. I pick Mommy Nora. And the whole garden party went dead quiet while a 7-year-old lay on the stone by the fountain, fighting for air, and his dad, Grant Whitaker, the matchmaking CEO, whose life looks perfect on billboards, stared like the floor had opened under him. People froze with their champagne halfway up. The string quartet kept playing because nobody told them not to, and his fiancée, Clarissa, kept smiling for the board members with eyes that had gone cold. Me. I dropped to my knees, counted breaths, and talked the boy back into his body, like my own daughter taught me to do before the hospital took her away. In through your nose, slow and quiet. Out like you are fogging a window. We are counting fireflies, you and me, one light at a time. Paramedics did their part. The crowd pretended not to stare, and I saw something change behind Grant's eyes. The way it changes when a person finally spots the line between concern that plays for the cameras and care that actually keeps a child breathing. Next morning, he called while I was scraping oatmeal out of a pan that has seen better days, voice low, like he was in church. Ms. Ellis, I know we barely met, but I need help. Not a photo op, not a yes person. Someone who will learn what Leo needs and tell me when I'm getting it wrong. I told him what I tell any parent who thinks money is the medicine. Tell me about your kid first. 7 cardiac episodes, loud rooms, are bad short play. Then rest, loves, space books, wears his late mom's bracelet. When the weather in his chest turns, Mrs. Riley every night. I set my terms, because I always do. I am Leo's advocate first, which means I will disagree with you. I will ask you to cancel meetings. I will tell your fiancé that a pretty plan is hurting a real child. If you want yeses, hire a stylist. If you want outcomes, hire me. He didn't flinch. He just breathed like someone had named the thing he couldn't. I started at 7:30 the next day, with the same gear I carry everywhere. Oximeter, emergency meds, laminated protocol card with the red flags on one side and the calm down steps on the other. Then we tuned the whole house to Leo's rhythm, instead of forcing Leo to outrun the house. Short bursts, longer rests, quiet zones marked like fire exits, a star chart for catching early warning signs before they catch him. We practiced breathing until it felt like a game, counted fireflies, until he could feel the floor under him, not the panic above him. Grant watched without pretending to know things he didn't ask. The right kind of questions, messed up, and tried again, which is the only way I've ever seen love work for real. Dr. Marisol Ramos, the cardiologist who reads anxious parents like EKGs, tweaked a dose, then nodded at our routine. Data is information, she said, but practice is medicine. We were good. Then the door swung open on 10 shopping bags and a smile that was built for magazine covers. Leo, sweetie, look what I brought. Our little astronaut Clarissa sang. Blazers stiff as a billboard, gadgets that light up and overstimulate, toys that impress adults more than children. Leo rubbed his bracelet and tried to be polite. It's heavy, feels like I can't get air. One outfit won't kill him, she muttered through a smile. We can't have him looking like he doesn't belong. Comfort isn't laziness, I said. It's prevention. She tilted her head. How fortunate you're an expert in medicine and wardrobe. Grant stepped between us without raising his voice. If it makes breathing harder, it goes back. Yeah, that happened. The hit didn't come head on, it slid in sideways like they do. An investigation at the center where I teach anonymous complaints, words that sound official, and cut deep if you let them. Boundary issues, emotional manipulation, leveraging access. Paperwork has a way of making lies look tidy. The director asked me to step back while they sorted it out, eyes on the floor, and I went to the Whitaker house with my bag already packed. Grant had a folder on his desk, pages lined up like a trap, reports that said I gave meds without authorization, Left Leo during an episode pushed for favors. He couldn't look me in the eye, just closed the folder like closing a door, please go. I kept my voice steady because anger burns oxygen. Ask me to my face if any of that happened. He didn't. At the stairs, Leo appeared in pajamas and panic. Where are you going? We didn't count fireflies. Where's my bracelet? And when he grabbed his wrist, and the bracelet wasn't there, he came apart, the way kids do. It's gone. I can't hear Mom's song without it. I took his face in my hands and told him the truth. I wish someone had told me sooner. I will find it, but the song isn't in the bracelet. It's in you. He shut his eyes and tried to breathe, whispered again like a vow. I pick Mommy Nora. I walked out before I said something I couldn't take back. Grief doesn't make me fragile anymore, but betrayal still makes my hands shake, you know what I mean. Colton, my friend, who counsels families for a living, called right. When the dark got loud, you organized the seminar for Saturday. 20 families waiting. You don't show up for gossip. You show up for kids. They suspended me, I said. Half this town thinks I'm a vulture. Then stand in front of them and let truth be witnessed. You're not your reputation. You're your record. Saturday came with that stubborn drizzle that makes everything feel heavier. We set up folding chairs. I told the parents straight. I won't chase shadows. I'm here to teach you how to keep a child breathing when seconds matter. We practiced positioning, named the wrong kind of silence, made fear step aside for 10 minutes, while hands learned what to do. 15 minutes in, the doors swung open, and Clarissa entered like the cameras were rolling, hand-up voice bigger than the room. I have a moral obligation to ask if Ms. Ellis should be advising anyone given the allegations. I faced her then, the parents. I lost a child to this condition, not for lack of love or learning, but because bodies fail, and I studied until my eyes burned, so I could hand you skills I wish I had sooner. If you want to question me, do it after you practice. A dad in the front stood, voice shaking. My boy is alive because of her routine. Then a grandmother, then a nurse, testimonies rolling like thunder. And Dr. Ramos came straight from rounds, took the mic like a gavel. These techniques track with hospital protocol. Her boundaries are sound. Stop attacking the person, teaching you how to save your kids. In the back, head down, was Grant. After the session, he found me packing handouts and didn't start with excuses. He held out his hand, with Leo's star charm in his palm, pulled from the fountain grate. I'd cleaned that charm at the sink more than once, never noticed the tiny seam, until that moment it twisted open like a secret. And inside was a paper rolled so small it felt like a miracle, Riley's handwriting steady as a heartbeat. If you're reading this, you're still here. Let love lead, not fear. Protect the living. More than the story about the living, be brave enough to trust again. Grant folded like a man who'd been bracing for years. I chose the picture. You chose the kid. Next day, he brought Leo to my apartment with a different folder, not a weapon this time, Dr. Ramos had pulled real records from Hannah's case. Not only was there no stain, there was a commendation I'd never opened, because grief makes you stop checking the mail. He set it on my table like returning something sacred. I'm sorry, he said. I let someone who worships image write my son's script. I won't do that again. Leo climbed into my lap like he'd been headed there the whole time come home. We did not with violins and a drone shot with work, with early mornings where we argued about whether a speaking gig would push Leo too far, with boundaries you could actually stand on, with Grant learning to say no to people who think access is oxygen, with me learning to let someone else carry the box without grabbing it back before he drops it. The Firefly Project was born at Riley's garden table. Protocol cards in kitchen drawers, classes in the old dining room, where the crystal used to live, parents practicing until their hands remembered. Online, Clarissa kept swinging apologies that never said sorry, threats that never landed, whispers that we were a sympathy play. Lakefield loves its whispers. We keep the lights on anyway. One morning over pancakes, Leo asked to change his name to Leo Whitaker Ellis, so everyone knows I belong to both my families, and I cried into the sink because joy shows up dressed like grief, and you need a second to recognize it. Another night he asked if we could have a wedding in the garden someday, with the Firefly families there. Kids are good at putting simple words on complicated things. I told him grown-ups move slower, and love is a daily choice, he shrugged. Like kids do when they know adults will catch up, you and Dad get the same soft look when you think the other isn't watching. That means yes. Maybe he's right. Maybe he's early. What I know is we set the table now. We talk about markers for Saturday and whether tomatoes belong by the roses. We keep the bracelet and the star charm in a shallow dish by the door, so the last thing you touch reminds you you are not walking alone. And once a week we go to the park and count fireflies, even when the air is too cold for any, just to practice hoping. People ask me for a moral, like this is a fable. I think it's simpler and harder. Choose the kid over the picture. Choose the breath you can hear over the attention you can buy. Be the person who learns what love needs, and then does it even when the room thinks you're difficult. Here is the messy part that keeps the comments spicy. Clarissa sent an email to a girl named Emma from a life she photobombed and lost. Not an apology, exactly, more like reasons for the choices she made when the machine demanded a performance. I didn't forward it or flame it. I just stared at the cursor and wondered how many of us are a few bad choices away from becoming a headline we swore we'd never be. So tell me, do you hold someone like Clarissa to the fire until she breaks? Or do you call out the machine that keeps paying for the show and punishing the substance? If you were in that garden when Leo whispered, "I pick Mommy Nora," would you hear rudeness or truth said faster than the adults could handle? Drop your take below. Who was right, who was wrong? What does real care look like in your town? And if this hit a nerve, share it, subscribe, and tell a story you've seen where someone finally chose breath over brand.